Alright, YouTube, you ready for this? You were born ready for this.
Well, I mean, I know you're certainly ready for this, Dan.
I'm always ready for this.
Yep, it's that time of the week again, and
I thought you said it's that time of the month. Like, right, off you go. Right, yes, it is that time of the week.
yes, and we are doing Animal Movies August.
On the
aren't we?
plus side, you've managed to get the right day of the week this time.
Yes,
I appreciate that.
that's good. Yeah. Things are back to normal this
You know
week.
what the
aren't
irony of it was? You cancelled me for last week. I went around and saw your dad for something else, completely separate, and then you just turned up anyway.
they? Because
It's
what
just
I
the way it
cancelled
goes.
you for ended up being pushed to the Wednesday night anyway. But let's not go into that detail.
Let's not go into that. Anyway, welcome aboard, YouTube. We are in Animal August.
And we're talking about a special film of yours, aren't we, Dan?
A very special film. Well, this film, it takes me back. My cousin was obsessed with it.
Right.
So every time they slept over, especially in 6-week holidays, this film was always on. My room had the DVD player, so it was my room that got this pretty much looped.
I want to say they made McDonald's Happy Meal toys of the movie. Did they?
I have no memory of this.
I don't know if they did or they didn't, but it's something to look into.
Google is right here, my friend.
But the film that we are talking about, for those who can't see your Google search history,
It's for the best.
gladly so. It's Cats and Dogs from 2001, the live action / animated feature. Is that what you call it?
Yes, and no, they did not do the Happy Meal toys.
Oh, they didn't.
No,
Okay,
no, they didn't.
no worries. Yeah, I don't know where I got that idea from.
It might have been in another country, to be fair.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter anymore, does it? Because Happy Meal toys don't exist anymore.
They do. They're just crap.
They're not plastic or anything. They're just
cardboard origami things.
it's a load of rubbish, isn't it?
I've got a SpongeBob set downstairs if you want to see him.
Kids today do not know they're born. Bless them. Anyway, about the film.
Moving on.
So, Cats and Dogs, Dan. I am talking about this film because I do YouTube / radio reviews with a friend of mine, and our topic for this month is Animal Movies August.
Yes, it is.
My friend adores this film, so let's rip this band-aid off.
I don't know why, but for those watching on YouTube, you're currently looking at The Lion King for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, well, you picked a better film, I guess, but
No.
it's
They're
not
looking
to
at
be accurate.
last week's crappy.
Oh,
Lion King.
no.
It's all right. The right film is now on screen. Apologies. Carry on.
So this movie is batshit crazy with a few funny gags and decent voice performances thrown in. Jeff Goldblum is a wacky scientist, which is something he plays with ease at this point after playing the same kind of role in a much better film back in 1986 called The Fly. Have you heard of The Fly? They actually spoofed an episode of The Simpsons off of it. It's
I've heard of The Fly.
It's the one where Bart swap bodies with a fly or something?
Yeah.
That's
That was a freaky episode.
That
of
was
The
a freak.
Simpsons.
Was it Treehouse of Horror?
I think it was.
I
Yeah.
think so, yeah. The other characters are pretty much forgetful and get no laughs, as this film is only worth checking out for Jeff Goldblum being the wacky scientist dad who hangs in his basement a lot of the time, or the feline villain Mr. Tinkles,
Thank you.
brilliantly voiced by Sean Mays, who scores the best lines. I want you to stay here,
Why?
because I hate you. And then slams the door shut.
Easily the best part of the film. Easily.
That perfectly delivered exchange is the only memorable thing from this movie for me. I'm sorry, it is, but it's not a bad thing because it is fucking great, isn't it? That line, I love it.
I mean, how many times a week do I use that on you though?
More than is necessary. It clearly took inspiration from Stuart Little, which came out 2 years earlier, where they film the animals and simply CGI the mouths, but this film hasn't nearly as much heart and warmth as Stuart Little does, for me anyway. It's just daft fun for the right kind of audience, I think.
Yeah.
So to close, Dan, but I'm sure we'll talk about it further once I say my close. Cats and Dogs is a harmless film that will entertain children of a certain age or adults if this kind of thing floats your boat. I'm not that way inclined with this particular film, as I simply grew out of this particular one, but the dialogue exchange mentioned above earns this film the amount of stars that I gave it. And on that note, Dan, I'm giving Cats and Dogs 2 stars out of 5.
You practically dress up in capes and shit over other films, and you're downrating this? I mean, to be fair, you don't dress up as a cat or a dog, and I wouldn't expect you to.
Yeah, I'm not a furry.
That's just weird. But
I'm interested
feel
to hear your take on it, yeah.
I feel you've been a bit harsh to this film. I think, look at it for what it is. It's a light-hearted family comedy adventure film, rated PG, obviously.
Yeah, where did the PG come into it? Why was it PG worthy?
Simple, because back then, when you had things that were mildly scary,
Right.
the idea that a little kid could watch it and think that their pet cat is going to suddenly start taking over the world, probably the reason to have the parental guidance. Just a parent to sit beside the child and say, "Don't worry, Fluffy's not going to come and attack you."
But all the
randomly overnight.
all the original Star Wars films, they were all U's. The first Lord of the Rings film that you've seen is a PG.
I think, to be honest, it's to do with the fact that...
Granted, The Fellowship of the Ring and Cats and Dogs came out the same year, so...
yeah, I mean, film classification's changed.
It has a lot.
I mean, when they put Simpsons movies as PG, I thought that should have really been a 12.
I mean,
you had quite a bit of language in there, you had drug use, you had nudity, animated, but PG,
Sex.
I wouldn't have... You did? I wouldn't have put that as PG. But at a different time, if that had come out years earlier, it would have probably been rated a bit higher.
I think the 12A rating changed everything. So we're talking pre-2002, films that came out that were 12s couldn't be seen by a certain age without an adult.
Have you ever watched She's the Man?
I recall hearing about it. Did that come out around that time?
That was a good film, but that was a 12A, and I got to go and see it when I was 11.
Right.
Because my cousin's 12th birthday party, and I was just tagged along. Everyone here, my auntie's just like, yeah, they're all 12.
Well, I actually...
I'm not, but I'm in. I'm in!
I actually recall the 12A coming into fashion in 2002, specifically because it happened just after the first Spider-Man came out. Because the first Spider-Man came out and it was at 12, and not nearly enough people went to see it. The kids couldn't go see it. Kids couldn't go watch a Spider-Man movie. Can you imagine a situation like that?
Honestly, made no difference to my life.
I imagine it wouldn't. But I recall Spider-Man was then re-released as a 12A a couple of months later, so it could gather up the rest of that box office that it so gladly got.
I mean, it's the same with most movies when they actually recycle them and put them on TV. They'll get a movie that's rated 15 or 12 or even PG, and then they'll just edit the hell out of it.
I do hate it. I hate it when they put stuff on TV. Apart from Sky Movies, Sky Movies are fine.
Yeah, that's different though, because they use the same classification system as a cinema.
They do, and that's awesome. I love them for doing that.
But
whereas on Freeview, for example, if you're watching something on ITV2 or something, and they just trim it down to heck, and I hate that. I hate it when they do that.
It's scheduled for longer because they can whack hundreds of ads in the middle.
Loads of ads, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, they're a free channel. You can't really knock them for that. That's how they make their money. But still...
Well, I have noticed, even when it comes to, Christmas, and I'm sure we'll find this out again this year at Christmas, they don't put any good films really on BBC One. The one channel, or BBC Two as well, rather, the two channels that don't have any adverts, whereas all the good films and that are put on are all on ITV, ITV2, Channel 4. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, and I'm calling it now. It's gonna happen again this year, man. I tell you, it's gonna happen. But what would you, going back to Cats and Dogs? What would you rate it out of 5 then?
I would probably give it 3, maybe 3.5.
Okay.
I think for me
that surprises me really. I expected you to give it 4 or something.
Well, I think my reasons for it is obviously because there was a point in time it drove me nuts. I didn't want to watch it. I kept sending it around to my cousin.
Because you watched it too much.
Yeah, I watched it too much. At the same time, though, it kind of gives me that feeling of... How I look at it is, I look at a film, if this was on TV tomorrow, would I... You know what I'm like? I'll whack the channel on. If it's on, I'll just leave it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how I operate the TV, and then when I get bored, I turn it off and do something else.
Yeah.
That's how I consume television.
Right.
So, in that respect, if Cats and Dogs was on telly, I would probably have it on.
Yeah.
It was on telly not that long ago and I had it on.
Yeah.
But then the adverts did my head in. I wasn't really watching it. I was doing other things. It was on, and I just turned it off in the end. Because obviously I've seen it hundreds of times. But I think, as well, it is one of those films that if someone put it on, I wouldn't be like, oh, no, I'm not watching that. Oh, no, we want to turn that off. And also, as well, with you being one of the only other people outside of my family that's actually seen this movie, because I haven't met many people that have seen it,
okay,
I would say that, being able to bounce off that classic line.
It is.
That alone gives it a star.
That line is timeless, and I don't get me wrong. I did have Cats and Dogs on VHS as a kid, and I too watched it a little bit. I was too busy watching other films to probably craze over it as much as you had to, forcibly, by the sound of it.
Yeah, forcibly, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if this film rocks your boat, then fair enough. It doesn't for me. I didn't even give it a rewatch, before I did the review, because
That's such a shame.
I just watched loads and loads of clips on YouTube of it. Specifically that line with I just can't get enough.
Isn't it? That's the bit. I mean, I was very lucky because recently I've got it on Blu-ray. Obviously, yourself have got it on Blu-ray as well.
I do.
I got that for you.
Yeah.
For your birthday. And basically, I've got the original non-high definition copy on DVD. Now, you know as well as I, DVD menus are far better than Blu-ray menus.
That's
I
true.
don't know why someone just couldn't be bothered on Blu-rays.
Have you got any Universal owned Blu-rays at all? Because they have the worst Blu-ray menus going. They're so unoriginal. They're all
just
the same.
A static image with play scenes or
Well,
subtitles.
yeah, or
it
just all comes from the side, and it's so unoriginal, really. And if you pause a Blu-ray Universal film for too long, it goes on this stupid screensaver with the Universal logo. I don't know why.
The old classic DVD bouncing with a different colour. DVD was where it was at.
Name your favourite DVD menu
DVD
from years ago.
That's a hard one. That is a hard one.
Because I know there's two that you love.
But there is one that's really up there for me, and that is Cats and Dogs.
And I know
you've seen it. You've seen the menu,
I have.
right?
I have.
You open it up,
and you get to choose.
You have to choose.
Yeah.
My cousin loved his dogs, and sometimes to get it on quickly, I just press okay, just to get it on quicker. Obviously, by default, it's on the left. It's already on Cats. Cats is already highlighted. You press Cat. I press Cats, and no, I had to reset the whole system. You can't just, eject and put it back in because it resumes. No, you've got to reset the whole system so that I can pick Dogs. Rewatch the ads again so I can pick Dogs.
Yep.
Honestly, it was a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. But
I know your other contender for the menu.
Go on.
It's going to be Shrek 2, isn't
it's
it?
got to be Shrek 2.
That was so original that they did it with that. Just having them talk and all the characters being different selections. It's wonderful.
Oh, how about Shrek 2? Where's my donkey? Oh, there he is, cut from the movie because he talks to me. That is classic. Absolutely classic. You can't get a better menu than Shrek 2. I want to see someone try.
Shrek 2, Return of the Donkey. Is that what it like? He's coming up with all these names named after movies, and it's brilliant. And Shrek 2 is a 5 out of 5 from me. So
it's a 5 out of 5 from anyone. Shrek and Shrek 2.
It does everything a sequel should do, especially for an animated one, and it's fantastic.
And actually, I will give a bit of credit to the DVD menu of Shrek 1. Because actually, that is a pretty good menu.
I'm trying to remember it. Is that
you've got everyone
in the castle?
Everyone in front of the swamp, and then you got Donkey going, pick me, oh, pick me, pick me.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah. That I totally forgot
when you
about
pick an option, you get a different animation.
Yes.
From that, so it's really, it's a really good menu.
Ah, right. And I do remember, you won't know this film too well, but there was a superhero film from back in the day as a kid called X-Men: The Last Stand, which came out in 2006, the year we started high school, and I remember they that too had the had a choice on the menu. You could either choose the good guys or the bad guys, but either way, whichever one you picked, certain special features were only on like one of them. So if you wanted to watch
that's cool.
So if you want to watch like a deleted scene or something, all the deleted scenes were split in two and given to both sides. So
that is so cool.
So it was, and it had different featurettes on both as well. And I admittedly I liked choosing the bad guy one for that. That was a lot of fun. But again, back to similar to the Cats and Dogs one, I just liked it that they did come up with that idea, and I wish Blu-ray still did that, to be fair.
I do love that. Somewhere I've got the Toy Story DVDs. I've never actually put them in the machine ever. I went from VHS straight onto Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Apart from obviously that one we don't mention, the latest one.
Yeah, but also the fact that you don't want to watch it on Disney Plus either. Toy Story 2 you don't want to watch on Disney Plus.
Why?
Because they edit out the bit at the end that's very funny because PC woke bullshit.
No. What, Barbie?
Yeah. I bet I can get you a part in Toy Story 3. They cut it out. Because of the whole, Hollywood
What?
scandal.
I recorded it from BBC One a few years ago, and it's
Have
on
you
my
still got it?
box. I've still got it. I will see.
Can we check it after this to see? Because I'm curious to know if they kept it in.
Yeah.
Because the whole Weinstein thing came out in Hollywood in like 2017. So if this is post 2017, I do want to check it out to see if.
I think it's 19.
I'm
But
tempted
it's worth
to look.
checking. It's worth
Because
checking.
BBC don't usually edit their movies, really, do they?
No, because they sublet them in, don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah,
They,
yeah.
yeah.
It's different to
They
ITV.
don't actually own the content, do they?
Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
They can't touch it. They haven't got the license to do that. So
We'll definitely look into that.
yeah.
But Dan,
Ooh.
all that
I
will
did
wait.
not know that. I am checking that out.
All that will wait until next week, and we'll have more to talk about on that front. Look forward to that.
As we close Animal August, you guys have a great one. Like, comment, subscribe, follow us over on Letterboxd. Do you want me to be nice today?
Please do.
I want you to stay here. Now,
Why?
because I hate you. Right, I'm on Letterboxd at Dan Moore Radio. He's on there as at Larkins95. You can like us, comment us, subscribe us, abuse us, and away you go.
Have a great week, everyone. Take care.